Cure SMA has been very active in advocacy regarding implementation of newborn screening for SMA throughout the US. We have contacted every state lab in the US, set up calls to share with them information about spinal muscular atrophy, provided resources that can be shared. We reached out to the referral centers. We participate in state newborn screening, state newborn screening advisory committees, educating the committee members about spinal muscular atrophy, the impact of newborn screening, and the absolute urgency to implement newborn screening for SMA. And on the legislative side, we have a vice president of advocacy and policy who reaches out to the state legislatures, works with our advocates within each of those states, prepares testimony with those family member advocates, and we have reached out through as many possible channels. We have reached out through as many channels as are available to promote newborn screening in the U.S. for SMA. We do op-ed pieces, we do educational pieces. I'm proud to say that we made one state unhappy because our advocates were so strong that they really pushed the legislature to push the state lab to implement newborn screening ahead of their planned schedule. So we made some people unhappy, but we got SMA screening in place. So we were ecstatic about that. At this time, the technology has not evolved to be able to pick up those point mutations in that 5% of patients who aren't picked up by newborn screening. I know that there's things that are still in development. I mean, technology improves every year. So I'm hopeful that we'll be able to get to the point where we will be able to identify every infant. So over the next few years, I mean, there are many things that we are hoping. I don't even want to say hoping for, but we're working towards goals. You know, we at Cure SMA, we work to make things happen. You know, in the SMA newborn screening, 100% in every single state in Washington, D.C. Within 2 years, I think is reasonable, and we hope to be ahead of that schedule. Having a non-SMN targeted treatment available in the next 2 to 5 years, I think is also reasonable. I mean, there's very promising outcomes in clinical trials. Just more options for treatments, continuing to improve access for those individuals who want to receive treatment, meaning payer approvals. I am also very hopeful that we'll be able to create an algorithm for optimal use of the agents, the SMA treatments that are available. I know that our clinicians are thinking about this and wrestling with the best way to position each of the medications, which clinical situation would be best treated with which therapy. Those are questions that need to be answered in the next few years. As we also work forward in our SMA registry, collecting data about patients and having a better understanding both of how they respond to those treatments, and that honestly will be what will drive a better understanding of the phenotype of SMA, as well as the treatments and the responses and the matching clinical situations. It's the collection of real-world evidence data, analyzing that and sharing that out. And those are all things that Cure SMA can contribute to.